we've got Mark 1 to Mark 8, which is always pretty amazing to see, and then a couple of rally specials. How cool is that? Christ. Hello and welcome back to the Vaux Wizard channel. Now the standard brakes on my Mk7.5 Golf GTD Estate are perfectly fine for most people. They're the same 312mm discs as fitted to the non-performance pack GTI, but because the Estate is quite a bit heavier than the hatch and because I tend to drive it more like a GTI performance, I think an upgrade is a very good idea. Plus, as well as making the car safer, we can actually make it look a lot better. Right now the standard brakes look a little undernourished behind the beautiful BBS wheels, and wouldn't it be nice if they were red as well, just like those on a Mk3 Golf GTD. So in today's video, I'm going to take you on a tour of the Midlands while we collect the parts needed for the upgrade. And by the way, we're not going to use the most obvious parts for the job. Now, if that sounds a little bit boring, rest assured it isn't. Later in the video, I'm going to give you a tour of a car collection that's been brought together just for this video, and then I'm going to share you a drive in one of its most interesting cars. But right now, we just need to get somewhere big and somewhere red. Guys, welcome to Big Red in Worcester. These guys are caliper refurbishers. They've been here for years. I've used them many times before, and they are just brilliant. They're to the south of Worcester, so easy to drop into if you're passing, or they'll do mail order as well. They actually thought I was going to have mine posted to me, so they pack them up very carefully. And this is the caliper. Ta-da! So this is basically a Mark 5 R32 caliper. It was originally from an A3 3.2. As you can see, it's very heavy. And it's a single piston, but it runs the 345mm discs, which is a big upgrade on this car. The carriers are in there as well. And while I was here, I had that Seat Leon Cupra rear caliper done because the nipple thread was knackered on that. They've done that as well, so well worth the trip. I haven't had anything for free. There's my receipt for £460. That's three caliper refurbs, basically. But yeah, money well spent. I've got the total peace of mind of knowing these are as good as new, because when they came off eBay, they were a little bit ropey. I wouldn't have trusted them. But also they look a lot better now in red. So now we just need to head a bit further west to go and get the discs and pads. Well guys, welcome to Herefordshire. Now I'm not sure I've ever filmed in Herefordshire before, but it's a beautiful county, and because I was in Worcester visiting Big Red, I thought I'd pop in and see the guys here at Deutscheparts. Now they've supported the channel during 2023, which has been much appreciated. It's great to call in and see them. This is the unit full of all their parts. So yeah, they have 50,000 items in stock. Because that was coming down, they've made a real special effort to get some cars together for us to enjoy. I can't believe what they've done though, but because they're all enthusiasts and they know enthusiasts, they've managed to get all these cars together. So basically we've got Mark 1 to Mark 8, which is always pretty amazing to see, and then a couple of rally specials in the middle. So I'll give you a quick tour of these cars. I can't do them all justice because there just isn't time, but let's start off then with Mark 1 Caddy. It was a farm car that was restored by the owner quite a long time ago now. As you can see, it's got things like the aluminium bumpers on it, 5-spoke wheels. It's got a Mark 3 leather interior. If you had a Golf VR6, you might recognise that. BMW E30 dashboard, apparently Porsche dials. Mark 7 steering wheel. And it's in a shade of beige that was standard on the Beetle that's actually come back into fashion now, but it was painted many, many years ago. Another Mark 1 then, so convertible, 1990-ish. If you spot the side marker light, you will probably think it's American, but it's not. This car's from Canada. And the owner gets really offended if you say it's American. And he used to live in Canada. He brought it back here in 2014. And it's got a 2-litre tall block engine, which isn't standard. It's got mechanical cruise control. And it's got this apparently unique to Canada sticker there. G60 steel is. Tow bar. You can see the Canada sticker on the back there. It's even got the Canada number plate under there. This is an interesting one as well. This was bought by Noel here at Deutscheparts from a guy in Wales who just wanted to get shot of it. It just looks like a ropey old Mark II, but there's a couple of interesting things to talk about. It's a bit of a project for Noel and the guys here. It's in medium metallic blue, which was a 1990 model year only colour. That's quite interesting. I had one in this colour. It was stolen and stripped for parts from me in the mid-90s. And then we've got Mark IV Recaros from probably 1.8T. But I think it's what's under the bonnet. That really basic steering wheel. Is that Mark II or Mark 1? Probably doesn't really give you a clue as to what's under the bonnet. It's not like a 1-litre engine from a Golf. Ta-da! 2.8-litre VR6. Pretty common and pretty easy to fit, because obviously the Mark III, basically a Mark II chassis-wise. And yeah, they're going to sort of tidy this all up and make it a nice sleeper car. Telescopic struts, which are really hard to put down. But yeah, it'd be interesting to watch that project develop. Now, this is another interesting car. It's a Mark III Golf, which is rare enough. Anyway, it's a GTI 16-valve, and this is Noel's rally car, and he's done a couple of rallies in it now. And it's got Bilstein shocks, but they've kept sort of standardish springs to keep the height, because it can get quite damaged underneath if you don't do that. And it's got protection underneath there as well. It's got bucket seats, obviously a roll cage, and all the other stuff you need to be a legal rally car. And that is the car I will hopefully be driving later, so stay tuned. And Noel might actually throw it around a bit, because it's a rally car. On to Mark IV then. Reflex silver. I thought this was just a TDI 130 with Montreal wheels. People fit them, don't they? But it's not a GTI 1.8T either. Can you guess what's under the bonnet? There's not really much left now, if you know your Mark IVs. Ta-da! V5, so later model 170. It's actually an automatic, I think, with a big chrome selector. And it is basically the 2.8 V6 engine with a cylinder chopped off. It's 2.3 here. And this was bought as a non-runner. It just needed a fuse for the ECU, and the guys are going to do this up as well. So it's great to see these. My wife used to have one of these for a good few years. Yeah, 5-door, but identical in every other way. Always nice to see a Mark V Golf GTI. So again, reflex silver, 18-inch wheels, DSG, full leather. And this is just a daily car of one of the guys here. As usual, the wheels probably could do with a refurb. Other than that, though, it's very tidy. Then we have a Mark VI diesel, just to make up the numbers, but actually it's interesting because it's probably been to the Nürburgring to have that sticker on it. And then things get a bit more interesting and more Nürburgring relevant with TCR, 5-door, pure grey, 2020 model year. How do I know that? Well, I know it's got a Krapovich on the back of it. No DCC on this one, but with the 18s, it'll still drive really well. And they're the super light Corantas, or whatever they decided to call them, for the TCR. And then finally, because the guys do a lot of work with Virtue Volkswagen, Virtue have dropped this off specifically for this video. So you can probably buy this car. It's a performance pack with Esterills, no DCC. But a year ago, you couldn't order a performance pack. So you had to have the R20 years if you wanted the big spoiler. But yeah, so this must have been ordered before they changed the catalogue. Yeah, I haven't really had a look in a Mark 8 for a while, but this looks, pretty nice. The interior looks good. Yeah, nice. And pan roof without a trim to crack on these Mark 8s, which is no bad thing. And then finally, we have the two rally heroes in the middle. So we've got this tornado red Audi Quattro 20 valve, which actually belongs to the guy that used to run South Hereford garages, and they used to have one there in the showroom unregistered, but this isn't that car. And he was very careful to only let it come here if it was dry. So big thanks to you, whoever you are. It's really great to see a Quattro in the metal again. Don't see enough of these. And I just love the dash. If you think virtual cockpit was a big revolution in 7.5, imagine that in 1980 something. The Digi Dash. How cool is that? And then we go back to Wolfsburg with this Mark II Golf G60 Rally, again with a Nürburgring sticker, but more of a older design. So I actually knew this car. It lived a couple of miles from where Volkswagen's premises were, just outside Birmingham. The guy had it on his driveway. I think he always used to get people knocking his door trying to buy it. He's moved out to Worcestershire now, and Noel lives around the corner. He said, can I bring it down for the video? And here it is. So it's just so weird seeing this car again, because I haven't seen it for a while. Lovely colour. I don't know what it's called, but I think it's unique to rallies. And we've got the leather Recaros. Bit of a patina there. Perfectly standard, unleaded fuel only. 179,000 kilometres, so nothing massive on there. Oh, look at that. How cool is that? Christ. That is brilliant. Well, big thanks to everybody here at Deutscheparts for bringing their cars down today. The weather's played ball as well. Now, let's go inside and have a look at some things that might be useful for Christmas presents for people who are into their cars. Now, this is Noel, the owner of Deutscheparts. Tell us a little bit about the company.
So, we started in 2007 importing genuine VW Audi parts from Europe. It grew a lot over the next few years, and we've expanded now to doing genuine parts and high quality aftermarket parts and accessories for almost any brand that we can get our hands on these days. When COVID came along, we became really busy and expanded quite a lot, and I can introduce you briefly to some of the team here.
Yeah.
So over my right shoulder is Lee, the general manager.
Hello, Lee.
In the far corner we've got Andy and Matt, who are on sales. Hello. So if you email or live chat or any communication, it'll be one of those guys normally that contacts us. And sitting quietly in the corner is Mel, our data administrator, who
Hello, Mel.
Does a very good job of keeping on top of the monster amount of data that we have to manage day to day.
And also you've got a massive warehouse team as well, haven't you?
Yeah, there's 6 or 7 in the warehouse now. So yeah, we're dispatching currently, just December 2023, probably targeted to do 3.5, maybe 4,000 parcels a month. Next day delivery to the UK on most things, and if it's shippable, we'll ship anything to any country in the world.
Because when I've ordered stuff, it's come next day, which is, well, kind of unexpected really. So
yeah, we trade off the back of that. We try to, the way I've always operated here is we've tried to make the difference that other companies don't do. So genuine parts backed up by next day delivery. So if you've got a car stuck on your driveway on the ramp, the parts are with you as quick as possible.
What's your cut-off time for next day orders?
Most of the year it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon because we're in a remote location, so it's quite hard to get the couriers out in the afternoon. But as late as possible, we will pack and ship up until the couriers walk in the door in the afternoon. So.
Okay. Now, as well as more traditional car parts, Noel's arranged some gift ideas, not just for Christmas, but all year round. But there's some Christmas-related stuff. Just give us a...
Yeah, for sure. So we've really got everything you could possibly want for a car enthusiast, from stocking fillers right up to Golf Mark 7 sat-nav retrofit kits and everything in between. We've got these great Volkswagen classic parts, baubles.
Oh yeah, they've got the Volkswagen little man on them.
They have, yeah. Using code VOLKS10 from now until the 24th of December 2023, you'll get 10% off everything on our website, not just this range of gifts. And while we've got them, every order placed until then, while we've got stock, we'll get a free German Volkswagen Classic Parts Advent Calendar.
Right, now the fun bit. You promised me a drive, or even better, you driving in your Mk3 Golf rally car. So
Let's go.
Let's go. So we're now in Noel's Mk3 rally car. Tell us a bit about it, Noel.
I've owned this car for 10 years. It's built to a Welsh road rally spec, which is not a discipline of motorsport that a lot of people are massively aware of. But it's technically for standard road legal production cars, but you can, as you can see, fit safety device stuff to the car to keep you safe when you're out rallying. So road rallying is not about speed particularly, it's about getting from point A to B at an average of 30 miles an hour between two navigational points.
Oh really?
Yeah, over 100 miles. That said, it can be a little bit hard on the car, so this one's built to a fairly typical spec. So it's an ABF 2 litre 16 valve. I understand it to be a standard engine, but it goes okay. It's got a hybrid Passat B4 gearbox in it with a high ratio final drive, 288mm VR6 Mk3 brake in front and standard disc brakes at the back. EBC yellow stuff brake pads, which really do take some heating, and you need to get them warmed up before they work at all, really. Yeah, that's it about it really. It's all skidded underneath, so engine guard, fuel tank guard. The exhaust is tucked right up into the body, because some of the road rallying will take you into farmyards and farm tracks, and you know the idea is to come out the other side of them.
In one piece?
In one piece, yeah, with an operating car. And bizarrely, the latest event we did, we were 94 miles into 100 miles, and the water pump pulley bolts fell out and finished our rally for us. Apart from that, the car was absolutely faultless. It's really quite suited to rallying, actually. We weren't sure how it would be, because Welsh rallying is full of Mark 1 and Mark 2 Ford Escorts, which are built to a really high spec. So yeah, it's not VR6 quick, but it gets around okay for definite.
It likes to rev, doesn't it, this engine?
Yeah, it is a revvy one, yeah, for sure. So get it warmed up and have a little ride around. So yeah, it's.
So you said you got Bilstein shocks?
Yeah, I can't. It's so long ago since I fitted them. I can't remember exactly which spec they are.
I reckon they've got to be B6, because you're not running the car low at all, are you?
No.
So and they're not coilovers?
No, definitely not coilovers. They're regular McPherson strut on the front. It is lowered at the back, but we've been messing with ride heights, because when you're carrying two spare wheels and jacks and tools and all the rest of it, it can sort of upset the balance a little bit. So we've been messing around with that. We're still in. I've owned the car for 10 years, and only in the last month have I done any events in it. So
really?
That kind of explains how busy Deutscheparts have been for the last decade, unfortunately, which is a good thing.
So it's got some pedigree now, then?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's. I think the last scrutineer said it was a well screwed together car, and credit to Rob that works in the warehouse, because unfortunately it's him that's grovelling around on the cold floor most of the time. So
you've done some events at Kerbera though, haven't you?
Yeah, when I first bought the car and did the first load of work to it, so seats and harnesses and gearboxes, it needed sort of shaking down. So I used to do GTI International and all the Kerbera and bits and bobs, and then marriage and children came along and sort of absorbed all my time and money for a long time, and then I just got the opportunity to start having a go. So I did a couple of Kerberas, thoroughly enjoyed every second of it, and decided to then partially get my hands dirty and get the car finished, and that's what we're riding around in today. So.
Yeah, the seats are nice, Cobra.
Yeah, they're great for support. If you're out on a night rally for 6 hours, you can get out feeling a little bit jaded, but I'd rather have the safety than the comfort. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Who fitted your roll cage?
That was done by Forward Motors in Malvern, so they still are a very high quality body shop, and they were a Volkswagen approved repairer for a long time. So,
really?
Yeah, road rally cars are not like you would see a really highly prepared street car. They're a bit spit and sawdust and a bit basically. So they're very safe, but you wouldn't want to be on the motorway in them all day long.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of NVH, noise, vibration, harshness, isn't there?
Yes,
but it gives it a lot of character.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, I thought until a couple of weeks ago it was the only Mk3 road rally car. There's two very successful Mk2 road rally cars that have been out, but I did see another 8 valve out a couple of weeks ago, which we had a really long chat about. It's good to see someone else doing it.
Of course, Volkswagen ran a rally program with the Mk3, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
Back in the mid-90s.
Some of what I've done to this has been based a little bit on what there's very scarce information about those cars actually. And they were, I think they were kit cars, so they were.
That's what they called them, yeah.
Yeah.
Alistair McRae, wasn't Colin's brother?
Yeah.
And that Tapio Lackinen.
It was Tapio Lackinen.
Yeah, they had a yellow. Was it yellow mainly?
They were yellow. Yeah.
And they're sponsored by Sony, who are partnered with Volkswagen for the head units, which
this had.
we don't have.
Yeah, it did have a head unit.
So I can't see it from in here, but they've done something with a sunroof, because I think most Mk3s, the early ones anyway, had sunroof. Later ones, it was an option.
Yeah.
You welded that up.
Yeah, so a friend of mine at Old Autos down the road did quite a bit of prep on the car, and we sort of had a Corrado mechanism in there for a bit, but in the end we scrapped the whole thing and just put a very basic metal plate over it. It does need resealing because we got absolutely soaked through to the skin on the last event in Wales, but yeah.
It's going to rain in Wales, isn't it?
It really is. It's the worst weather I've ever driven in, and the first time I took this car out as well, so yeah.
Right, well, I want to have a go at a handbrake turn then.
Go for it.
My problem with harness is trying to reach the door. I got it! Okay, Noel decided to get out of the car. Not because he's scared, just because he's filming, really. So he says. It's great to be back in a Mk3. I've got the obligatory woolly hat on when you do anything to do with rallying. Well, actually, we might as well get into the handbrake now. Because there are some things to hit here. I need to be careful. So let's get the right hand in and then. Oh, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this a lot. Whoever says Mk3s are not fun is wrong. Should have got on the power then, but we had a lot of the slide. Right, now we're going to do it. I enjoyed that a lot.
Oh, good.
Now, the reason I've come down to Deutscheparts isn't to have a Hoon in Noel's Mk3 Golf, although that was fun, but to actually talk about the brakes for my Mk7 Golf GTD Estate, Mk7.5. So the calipers from Big Red for that car just need some discs to go with them. Actually, we'd already sorted out them, hadn't we? We're going genuine.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, Noel's become an importer of Zimmermann brake discs. Now, if you've been in the Volkswagen scene for ages, you would have heard of Zimmermann. But tell us a bit more about them, Noel.
Yeah, so we obviously we're very well known and have been doing genuine parts for a long time. A lot of customer feedback was suggesting that we needed to find a high quality aftermarket product similar to Bilstein, Marley, Ring, and all the other aftermarket products we do. And we did our research. There's a lot of rubbish out there, but we got some sample products from Zimmermann. And one of their marketing straplines is as close to genuine as possible, and you only have to look at it compared to something from maybe an online factor or various other sources, and they really are as close to genuine as it's possible to get. And we really have done lots of checking, and due to the fact that we're known for supplying really high quality goods, we wouldn't be taking on any products that we didn't have 100% confidence in.
No, I've heard of them. Are they made in Germany?
They are, yeah. The factory's in Germany, developed in Germany, and shipped from Germany direct.
Oh yeah, made in Germany. Well, that's always good. And they've got the geomet coating on them, which means that that's just like they come from the factory.
Yeah.
So if you bought a brand new Volkswagen, it would come with this coating on it. And that means this bit doesn't rust really quickly. It still rusts in time because it's not like the body of the car, but it still looks a lot better for a lot longer. And obviously the performance of the pads, which are E-rated, is going to be good to close to the OEM. Do you want to talk about Pagid?
In what respect?
Well, I've always been a big Pagid fan,
Yeah.
but they've been taken over by somebody, and people in the trade tell me they're not as good as they used to be.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, we sampled 5 or 6 different brands, and we literally put some of them on the scales to see how much material was on them compared to the factory stuff.
So same size discs,
Yeah.
how much do they weigh? Because obviously
there
that's
was
the
a
important.
noticeable difference, and we've always said that we sort of want to go home at night knowing the products we sold are not going to fall apart and not going to cause any problems. So we did a lot of research. There's 2 big brand names that have sold recently and are trading off their names, and as far as we can see, the quality may have suffered a bit. So, let's say, as you mentioned just now, made in Germany is made in Germany. It's not licensed in Germany and made somewhere else.
Or designed in Germany.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Let's go and have a look at the genuine parts that you've got me for my, hopefully, will fit my GTD Estate.
Perfect.
Now, I think I've said before, we're not kind of following the most obvious upgrade route because we're going Mark 5 R32 on a Mark 7, which in theory should work, but we're only really going to find out once we get them on the car. So these are the discs. They're genuine Volkswagen, and they're 345. Because they're not 2-piece with aluminium bells, they are quite hefty, but I think on a GTD Estate they're perfectly fine. If they're good enough for an R32, they're good enough for me. We just need to keep our fingers crossed that the offset of the disc, like a wheel, a brake disc has offset, so how far this is away from the hub is the offset, and it might be different on a Mark 7 compared to a Mark 5, which means the caliper will hit the disc, which could be a bit of an issue, but we're both pretty confident it's going to work. If not, I will keep my receipts.
Send it back. No
Yeah.
problem at all.
And we'll have another go at doing something else, but yeah. So it's been a very good day coming down here to Deutscheparts, meeting Noel and the team finally. Don't forget the Volks 10 discount code that's valid until Christmas 2023, and the first orders while stocks last will get a delicious Volkswagen Classic Advent calendar. Keep subscribing, keep commenting, and I'll see you for the next one very soon.